In this question, we are given that a non-compressible ball in the shape of a sphere is to be passed through a square opening in a board. We have to find the perimeter of the opening. Now, we have no variables or numerical data to infer a lot from the question stem. But what the question is actually trying to say is that there is a square and the non-compressible ball, which is in the shape of a sphere, must pass through this. So, from this diagram, it is easy for us to understand that the side of the square must be equal to the diameter of the circle. From the question, we can infer the diameter of circle will be equal to the side of square. So, we have to find out either the diameter or radius of circle to find the side of the square and thus find the perimeter of the opening. Now, this might not always be the case. For example, we have no information about the size of the square opening. So, it is possible that the square might be very large and the ball is very small. So, in this case, the diameter of the circle will not be equal to the side of the square. So, let's write this as case 1, this as case 2. And another case possible is when the size of square opening is less than the size of the ball. But we instantly eliminate the case 3 since we have to pass the ball, which is in the shape of a sphere, through the square opening in a board. So we have to keep in mind the case 1 and case 2 and then analyze the statements. So let's move on to step 2 and analyze the statement 1. According to the statement, radius of the ball is equal to 2 inches. But here we don't know about the square opening. So there is no information about the square opening, and hence it is not possible for us to conclude if the ball will pass through the square opening or not. So statement 1 is not sufficient, and out of the given options we eliminate options A and D. Now we move on to analyze the statement 2. Statement 2 tells us that the square opening, smallest square opening through which the ball will fit. Now after reading this statement, you should be able to infer that this is the case 1 which we had discussed in step 1. That is, in this case, the diameter of circle will be equal to the side of the square. But here we have no information about the radius of the circle using which we can find the diameter. So statement 2 is also not sufficient, and we move on to the last step, which is step 3, and analyze both the statements together. So from statement 1 we have that the radius is equal to 2 inches, and from statement 2 we have that the diameter will be equal to the side of the square. Now it's clear that since we have the value of r, we can find the diameter, which will give us the side, and hence we can find the perimeter. So since this is a DS question, we can mark the correct option as option C. But if it is still not clear to some of you, let us proceed with the calculations. Now diameter of the circle will be equal to 2 times the radius, which is equal to 2 times 2, which equals to 4 inches. Now this is the side of the square. Now what is the perimeter of a square? The perimeter is equal to 4 times the side, So this is equal to 4 times 4, which gives us 16 inches. Thus we are able to find out the perimeter of the square and answer the question. So the correct answer is option C.